The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Theme song is gonna play or not. I don't want to have it playing in the background, and I don't even know. So let's check and see if the Trench Talk theme is gonna play this week. There it is. You tuned into the Farron Dozier Show on mbradio.us, Trench Talk Edition, and Life Tour Sports. Catch me here Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, only on mbradio.us. How'd I do? Was that a good take? That might work. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and mbradio.us. We gotta bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too.
man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. march in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Farron Dozier Show right here on the Military Broadcast Radio Network, mbrradio.us. Make sure you check us out. Go to the website, mbrradio.us, and check out all the other veteran podcasts, first responders, family members. We got a lot of different shows here on this platform, giving veterans a voice. I am Farron Dozier, retired Army Sergeant First Class. And I'm here to do my episode today. We got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to cover in this hour, maybe 90 minutes. Probably going to be like 90 minutes. I need 90 minutes to get things across for myself here. So thanks for listening in. If you have any questions, you want to be a part of the conversation, hit me up at Farron Dozier, and we'll talk about bringing you on the show to share your story as you either a veteran, support veterans. We talk about a lot of things here. It's a variety show as well. So as you catch some of these segments coming up right now, you're going to see that these are some topics that are important to me. However, you are more than welcome to bring your subjects to the table and let's have a conversation about that. As you can see, this banner behind me, I have been asked to take on a conversation in my sickle cell community as an advocate for sickle cell trait. This conversation is very important because it is addressing grief. We recently lost another staple advocate in our community. I mean, I've lost friends. I've been in this community for the last 16 years and lost my mentor, friends, personal friends, people I've done radio shows with, just my peers. This is life. This is one thing we have in common. And unfortunately or fortunately, it's difficult to handle loss, mourning, and grief. And I'm learning for myself even that those are three different categories with three different experiences. And how do I have to manage those for myself? And so I've been asked to host this conversation. Right now, we're working on bringing some guests in to help, move this forward. But I'm just going to share from my own personal experiences. Most recently is Father's Day, right? And so for those of us whose fathers are no longer on the planet, in our hearts, in our minds, and in spirit, we acknowledge that. However, I don't know, for me, this Father's Day Sunday was just a little bit challenging than most of them. So I had to sit down with myself this Sunday and just kind of be with my experiences, my feelings, and my emotions around my father. I share often, the testimony of how we reconciled our relationships from son to father. I went to my dad for forgiveness because I realized at 40 years old how I treated my dad. And I realized I was able to look and take another perspective of what he went through growing up as a child. And I realized, man, this dude first of all, he was a teenager when I was born, going in his 20s. And here I am at 40 years old at the time, trying to figure out what it is to be a man. And I had all these expectations and these, things on my father that space gave me some compassion for him. Right. And when I saw what he went through as a teenager, as a child, it was like, well, no wonder. But at the mind of a child, we don't really understand that. Our perception of a child doesn't really understand that, but the brain is developing, right? So to get into that part, this weekend I had to sit with that. I don't think I had a conversation with anybody on Sunday. Did I talk to anybody on Sunday? No, I don't think I talked on the phone to anybody on Sunday. I woke up in that space. It's Father's Day. I got 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren. So I've had a lot of Father's Days. If I had my way, I think Father's Day should be for the new fathers because I've had enough Father's Day. I don't need no more Father's Day gifts and ties and all that. I just have a different perspective of that in life now. But yeah, I woke up on Sunday just kind of being with my feelings and my emotions. Definitely in the space of grief, definitely in mourning, trying to figure out how am I going to celebrate this day for my dad. But the biggest part of it this weekend I discovered for myself was that loss category. And the loss category for me has helped me even peel off some layers of myself around my dad's passing, because the loss is the loss. How he died, how he passed away in his sleep unexpectedly. So it wasn't even, I knew he had some illnesses, but he died in his sleep, and then we didn't find him for like 4 days, right? So I have all that stories and memories, right? But what happened was my dad passed away. Now what I make it mean and what I do with that information on the other side of that is my responsibility, right? So what I saw was 7 years into this grief and loss and mourning with my father is that I looked at the loss. What happened? He passed away. What did I make that mean about myself? See, at that moment, I made it mean that I was done when I got that phone call. Right. And I collected evidence in my heart to prove to myself I've been wanting to quit for a long time. But I pushed past that, got into church, did some mental health work, did some more counseling, did all that stuff. But what I realized is that I wish I had more time with him. And that was what I made it mean. Ultimately was. He and I should be doing these talk shows right here together. He and I were supposed to be doing speaks in the community around our sickle cell trait. He was a trait carrier where I got my trait from. So in my mind, we had more stuff to do, right? But in God's will, that wasn't God's will. God had a whole nother plan. So either I'm going to hold on to my own ideas of what should have happened with my dad and why he should still be here, and I need more time with him. Am I going to keep carrying that weight and carrying that story? And it's not right or wrong, good or bad, but it's a natural human experience that, man, I wish I had more time with him. And by looking at that for myself and telling the truth to myself about that, I was able to release some of that loss, because it wasn't my will. I only get an opinion about when, where, why, how people die. Even with the stuff that's going on in the news and the media, we only get opinions about that stuff. We take these 60-second clips and we make up, we come to our conclusion and it's wrong and right. And then we argue with each other. Like it's not my space, not my place. So for myself, with my own family and my own losses, I had to look at that like, okay, you know what, God, that was your will. So if I'm going to follow your word and follow your will, I got to give up my opinion about my father and my opinions about myself and what I should be doing, right? And let that go. And I was able to do that. Took me all of Sunday and part of Monday to deal with that and to look at that and tell the truth to myself. But ultimately what I really saw is I had to look at my identity. See, now my identity is also interrupted because that was my dad and I'm his son. But now I'm a son with no dad, no earthly father, right? So that's a whole nother different dynamic that I've got to take on now. And guess what? I'm a dad. I've been a dad for 33 years. I'm a grandfather. So it's my turn. Like I'm dad now, I'm father, and I'm grandpa. So I'm taking on the role of where, he did what he did. He was able to, he passed away like 2 weeks before my grandson was born. So he didn't get a chance to meet my grandson. Now I can hold on to that story, or I could just acknowledge that he wasn't here. And then now I'm grandpa and I get to take responsibility. And for me, that was one of the biggest things that I got in my loss over this Father's Day. And so I share that if you have people who, have transitioned in your life, friends, family members, loved ones, close friends, whatever that dynamic was, they say there's no, grief it shows up when it shows up, right? But if you understand and you do the work and you be the work and you apply those principles to your life, you can find peace. You can find a peace, a space of peace. Now, I'm not going to say it all went away, but I'm definitely present to the love for my dad, the greatness that he did. Yeah, he had his issues. He had all of his problems like we all do, but my dad was great. And I appreciate having those last 8 years of his life to reconcile and be a part of that and have him in my life and not have any resentments or regrets. See, I was holding on to what it made me look like. Like I wanted more time. He's gone. That's done. Right. And so as we have these conversations in our sickle cell community, just replace that with, whatever community you're a part of, whereas veterans, we're going to talk about some veteran stuff tonight as well. But grief, loss, and mourning, you got to look at those in those categories. They're different categories and they show up different in life. Right. And you may have to deal with that. So the morning part was, I went and had breakfast by myself at the restaurant, like he and I would do multiple times during the week. We would just go hang out and have breakfast somewhere and chill. That was the morning piece. You got to find out when that grief emotional state shows up, what are you doing? What are you doing with that grief? Are you internalizing it, or are you actually finding a way to let that grief go, to just play music or whatever your mind says? I need to go take this drive or go sit by the beach, whatever. Go do that. Go do that and be with that. That's the morning piece. You got to be able to go find somewhere and release that mourning, right? And the grief is the emotional part of that. Yeah, you're going to cry. You're going to feel things, your body sensations. But at the end of the day, once you be with those feelings and emotions and don't become them, be with them, they pass. Right. So you're gonna hear some more conversations about this subject around grief, especially for our sickle cell community. We'll be talking to family members. We'll be talking to friends. Unfortunately, we can't swim in denial. Right. We can't swim in denial that we all have that in common. At some point, we're gonna transition and expire. And however you language it for yourself, deliver the messages. Find out what your purpose, why you were born. Deliver those messages. And die empty, leave it all on the court. That's what I recommend. That's what I'm practicing. So you see me up to a lot of things in life. Basketball, ABA, I own 3 ABA basketball teams co-owned. I have this radio show. I have the KCA radio show. I have the nonprofit of my sickle cell trait. I partner with EQ Athletics. So there's a lot of things. Why? Because there's a message that God has given me to deliver. And it may not be for the whole world. It may just be for a certain amount of people or who you come in contact with. So find your peace in that, right? So shouts out to Felice for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. So you're going to find some of those episodes as we start to design this grief, finding comfort in our community around sickle cell and grief. They're going to find that here on mbradio.us on Wednesdays. And then, like I said, as we find more guests, I'll put more specific times out that's going to take place, right? So you'll be informed way ahead of time. And if you want to chime in, again, at Farron Dozier, hit me up to be a guest, like I said, and we'll be able to talk about life and the stages of these different stages of grief. So I appreciate you for that. That sickle cell trait conversation is important. So if you have questions, you know somebody with the trait, they need information, hit me up at wdconsct.org for that conversation. And we'll take care of you. So if you've been looking at the social media, yes, we have a guest today. Rick is here. As we're talking about grief, we're just going to go right into that conversation. Seems like it's been showing up in my life most recently around, just life insurance policies, death, burial, all those things, right? If you're a veteran, you make sure you got to go apply wherever you're going to be buried. You got to go to there and apply for your plot. Make sure that you're registered. So when your family got that documentation, when you transition, they know what to do with your body, right? That's important. For me, honestly, I retired from the military 13 years ago. I did not take the SGLI retired, life insurance. I didn't have any. I knew I should get some. I have my house. I knew in the back of my mind, I need to get something. I need to get a trust. I need to put this stuff in place for my daughters, for my grandchildren, as they're being born, my grandchildren. It's like, okay, Farron, at some point you need to be responsible. What is the concern? What is the fear? Putting this stuff into place doesn't mean you're going to die, right? But sometimes we live into the future of uncertainty, and that creates the anxiety today. And especially when you're looking around these conversations, life and death, those are some real life conversations, right? And in our veteran community, we know that veteran suicide is very high, but it's a human being flaw, right? So in today's conversation, we're going to talk about some life insurance. I got a gentleman here who works with veterans, has done a lot of work with veterans the last 25 plus years in other areas as well. But we just want to give you an opportunity to have a conversation, to listen. And if you got some questions, you can ask in the chat or post to us later on afterwards if you hear something for yourself, right? And then after that, we're going to have a panel discussion. I got some men here because again, we're talking about Father's Day just passing, and we talk about men's mental health. That is a number one conversation for me because of what I've been through and still managing my own mental health, mental toughness, transition and change. So that's a real life conversation. Just got off the phone with my buddy out of Michigan who's about to retire, man. And he was, he's preparing himself for that transition, for that change. My identity was trapped in that uniform. Right. So when we talk about identity, it wraps around a lot of different conversations. So my guest today is Rick. I'm gonna bring Rick up on the deck, man, and let's have a conversation. How you doing, man?
Very good, thank you.
All right. Thanks for hanging out today, and do a favor, introduce yourself to the listeners.
Sure. My name is Rick Mercado. I've been working for veterans in excess of 20 years. Got a background, passion for veterans for my whole entire life. My brother served, my father served. So I thank everyone for their service. I really appreciate it. And now I'm focused on veterans and assisting them wherever I can assist them with.
All right. So before we get to that veteran topic, let's get to know who was Rick growing up in his environment as a child, man. Let's go to some childhood days, man. Who was Rick growing up as a kid? I don't like the word kid. Child. A kid is a baby goat. So we're going to say child. Who was Rick as a child?
As a child, really bad child.
Welcome to our world.
Good. I had great parents growing up. Since my father was in the Army, disciplined house. But with that discipline, of course, came a lot of respect. And of course, they sent us into private Catholic schools and things like that. So I'm very fortunate to have had my father who did that all for us. I really appreciate him. Of course, he's passed away now, but really appreciate that, what he did for us growing up. Mischievous.
So you what was that dynamic for, in that environment of an Army father in the Army? What was that like? Did you do push-ups? Did you stand at attention? Did you have to make your bunk and have a quarter bounce off of the mattress? Like, what was that like for y'all?
Actually, he was very mellow with us.
Oh, that's good. Good for him.
Actually, we got taught a lot from him because, he didn't believe back in the day when children were getting spanked and things like that. He didn't believe in any of that kind of stuff. So, it wasn't disciplined. It was just, very regimented.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I look at myself with my children. I didn't bring that home. I didn't bring that military mindset. I brought the work home, but I didn't push that off to my children, like that whole military mindset. Like I'm still trying to peel that off for myself. So siblings, anybody talk about, do you have any siblings or what was going on with that?
Yes, I've got one brother who actually served in the Marines. He is service connected. He was over in, I believe it was at the time, it was Iran. Over in Iran. So he has some combat experience. Stinger, that's what he was. We went to Camp Pendleton, 29 Palms, the whole 9 yards. So got familiar with him. He was stricter than my father was.
Oh, he was the strict one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Give me an example of that strictness from the brother who was serving it. Well, he was a Marine, no wonder. I mean, it's always a Marine.
Exactly. He just always used to try to be the bully, the big tough guy. But no, I mean, you have to stand up to him sometimes, and got to put him in his place too. But I had a lot of respect for them. So ultimately, that's what actually pretty much I drew the line at. It was the respect part of it. I respect you, don't respect me back, and that's it.
Oh, that word respect right there, boy. That means a lot of things are different people. We have this. That's a real life conversation right there. So high school, did you play sports? Like, what was childhood, activities? Give me some background. Let people know. Like, did you play sports?
I wasn't the one into sports. My brother was. That's why he went into the Marines. He was a football player and also track and field and things like that. I was more into the study part of it.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Oh, that's cool.
But I wasn't in part of sports. I was more into the education. But after high school, I did go to college. That's what my difference was. I took a different path.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad passed. I know I opened up the show with a little bit of this transition and stuff that, I'm very respectful for people because, as human beings, we're sincere. We say the things that people normally say, oh, happy Father's Day. We don't know the person's status of their dad or anything like that. Right. So anything you want to share about how you manage, your Father's Day these days, and what that looks like for you. Can you touch on
It's
that?
a little tough. Of course, he isn't around, and getting by Father's Day is a little tough. But also, my sons, I have two sons, 32 and a 22-year-old. And I respect them a lot, but, you lose track of them sometimes, and they lose track of you, of course.
Yeah.
And, time goes on. So I find it that, also I'm just like you, I'm kind of alone out there and kind of just stick to myself and do my own thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. College, what were you drawn to in school? What type of education did you get?
I started off in criminal justice.
Yeah.
Actually, political science was my first major. And then I went to criminal justice. And ultimately, I found myself in business.
Okay. The criminal justice, when you got in that education, you was like, nah, I'm cool with that. That sounds like a good field, though. There's a lot of work in there.
Since I grew up in Los Angeles, I actually got went to the whole 9 yards of getting elected with the LAPD. So that's what my intent was. But at the time, in the early 90s, they had a hiring freeze. So that went out the window.
Oh, yeah. I could see that happening. All right. What led you? I mean, you mentioned your dad and your brother, people in your life that served in the military. What was the thing that drew you to, like, you know what? I have some things that I want to bring to the veteran community that I see is a missing piece of the conversation. Like, what was that? When did that start?
The number one thing that caught my eye first was the VA loan and how it was getting declined. There was the realtors have misnomers about, accepting VA loan applications because of the fact that a lot of them get denied. Well, that's what in 2010, we created a nonprofit to be able to handle that. And we got involved with the VA loan side, and we made sense to them. And now it's going on, what is it, over 10, 15, 16 years now. And it's very involved with the actual, the VA, the Veterans Association, the Veterans Association is the one we belong to, but with all the veterans, the VA loan. So we got very, very involved with the VA loan. That's what caught my eye. And before that, I knew that between 2004 to 2010, a lot of VA loans weren't going through. But at that point in time, I was more focused in on all the foreclosures, all the mortgage and real estate. My understanding of mortgage and real estate is very high. But that's just one facet, and that's why we moved into the actual the VA loan to be able to get that and put that in front of everybody. But that's where originally I started from, really getting involved with veterans, because I noticed that there was just a lot of miscommunication with the VA loan.
No, thank you. And so one of the things that, how we got involved today to have this kind of conversation is around life insurance, right? There's a lot of things that go on for people around this life insurance conversation. Like I said, it took me, I've been retired 13 years. I think it's been about a year now that I finally went and did my trust and my life insurance for my daughters and my grandchildren. Like, let me just be responsible, right? But there's something in the space of that concern or that worry or that living in the future of uncertainty of, I know I'm going to die one day, but we don't like focus on that. So what do you want to speak to that part of the conversation as far as what you come across when you're talking to veterans about their life insurance and things like that? What do you want to say about that part?
Sure. The VA obviously is a very good product out there, whether it be in the VGLA or Veterans Group Life Insurance or your SVGLI service members when you're actually active duty. And I'm finding that there is a large portion of veterans that are misguided, and some of the facts that are stated out there is that there's over 19 to 20 million veterans alone that do not have any life insurance at all. That's only bringing down to about 5.5 million individuals that actually have life insurance, either through the VA or if not through private sectors. I'm just here to make everybody aware and educate them on what's really out there and what are the miscommunications out there about life insurance and what the reality is of it and who qualifies for it.
So let's just point to the I don't like the elephant in the room, but we could pull the bandage off of this, right? Let's just pull the bandage off. It's difficult for us as people to trust one another, which, anyway, at least have confidence in one another. But when you're talking about somebody and their money and where they need to put it and putting it away to pay this amount for the next 30 years or until I die, like that's a difficult conversation, right? Because you have to, as an agent or how you do your business, there's a trust factor, there's a level of confidence that you have to establish with that person, right? Because they're strangers you're talking to, right? And so people just don't talk about their money and be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it over here. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like there's a level that you got to build that rapport, or what do you call that?
Yeah, you know what? I guess it's my personality really that I can get along with veterans. I know how to communicate with them very well because of my father, and I have a lot of relatives in the military or they're veterans now. And I've got to deal with a lot of situations where suicidal ideations and things like that. And I'm thankful that one of my cousins actually has a veterans nonprofit that actually deals with suicidal ideations and all that is discomforting with that. Yeah, it's just, I believe people should be insured. They should put away something over for either a legacy, and legacy means for their children, or if not for their family. That way, everybody, when it comes time to pass, you've got every situation covered, every aspect, whether it being your home, bills, or having, at least 1 year of coverage for your family so that, it'll pay bills, make life after the fact easier. So I like to talk with everybody and open up with them and realize that the reality of everything and what's at hand. Yeah.
And I appreciate you for saying that, because again, I've learned since I've been, a kingdom citizen, I've given my opinions about other stuff about life, right? Because I only get an opinion about that. And yet we see when people pass away, you got car washes, and this is not right or wrong or good or bad. People got to do what they got to do for those, at those moments. But we see a lot of GoFundMe stuff nowadays. We see a lot of car washes nowadays that people are doing to raise money to either have a burial or cremation or whatever they want to have for that family member. Again, how do you address that with a family who's maybe not financially able, or in their mind, in their relationship to money, that they don't have the money to set aside for that right now? Like, I need my money today, man. What are you talking about? Like, I got circumstances that I need to pay for today, and you want me to put some money away, for a future. And we're about to have a men's discussion up next, right? And now you talk about, yes, you want me to leave a legacy for my children, for my family, but I'm not here. The next man gonna inherit to myself. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these conversations in real life, right? Like, I'm not gonna leave my money and my stuff to this dude who's gonna come in my house and just drive my car and take my millions of dollars out. Like, how do you deal with that as a person first before you even talk about setting money aside for your family?
Creating a budget, number one, that's very important. Understanding, where the budget is, whether it's your VA disabled or however it may be. And your limitations with a lot of veterans, of course, are very limited on what their pay is. So, it's budgeting. That's the number one key to part of it. What I do is create a budget for them and realize what are the wasteful facts of what you're doing compared to, the future outcome of what can actually be for your legacy or for your children, however it may be, your spouse. So that's number one, making a reality of the circumstances that are around you. Next up, I want to say is that when I talk to them, so I'm a broker, I'm a brokerage. So I actually have over 20 plus carriers that I work with. So I'm not limited in any way whatsoever and aligned to one actual life insurance company. So
Gotcha.
I can shop around. I can look for discounts. I can look for a lot of different things, whether it being hybrid insurances, which hybrid means a lot of, here in California, actually, there's probably going to be a bill passed soon where everybody has to get, what is it? Oh my God, I just went a moment there.
Okay.
But you're after when you become hospitalized,
Yeah.
you actually have to have insurance come here very soon in California. And if you don't have that insurance, guess what? It's not going to get covered.
Yeah.
It's going to be mandatory in California soon.
Yeah.
So we also deal with those circumstances and try to build a budget around that, because hospitalization could be, it can drain somebody. It'll wind up just doing a lot of damage financially overall. So we like to address all of the issues, not just life insurance, but what life surrounds you with around you. Not just your life insurance. That's one aspect of it. But where are you at with your life? What do you want to do in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Let's try to break it down. Let's try to make sense of everything. So that's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like I said, again, looking at human beings, especially in survival state of mind, because a lot of us, we live in survival. We want power. We want the money. We think the money's going to give us the power, but it doesn't always give you peace of mind, right? So again, for me, it's like, how do we have these conversations? Because I had to look at my relationship with money. I had a very corrupted view of money because of how my dad taught me about money and what I'd seen in my family of what money looked like. So being able to go back to those initial conversations, I believe for myself, is where before we can have these kind of talks with people, you got to have that other. For me, it's like, what is my relationship to relationships? And what is my relationship to my money and to life? Because those are real. And a lot of times, again, we're going to talk about this with our men. We're taught, unfortunately, that, there's certain things that we don't say out loud. We don't talk out loud to these things because they're private, they're personal. And if I tell you what I'm dealing with, you might not be my friend no more. There's a lot of things that happen in our peer age that we act out in our adult life. And again, setting aside, money for life insurance. And when you have a lot of circumstances and a lot of concerns and worries, and you got children playing sports, and you want me to set $150 aside for something that I'm not going to, like, oh, well, it's like car insurance. You buy car insurance and you may never use it. Yeah, but there's a different, I believe there's a different framework in the relationship to my car versus that putting that life insurance policy away. So before I let you go, anything you want to, say that I missed, or you want to share?
If anybody has any questions, my phone number, I'm just going to say my phone number, and anybody can reach out to me at any given time. Doesn't matter the time of day. I work 24 hours pretty much. So, and if not, you can shoot me an email at info@LifelineShield.com. Again, it's info@LifelineShield.com. And I respond to emails a lot faster than what I do by calling you back. But if you would like to call back, if you leave a voicemail, and I'll call you back in a timely manner. My cell phone number is 626-674-3549. Once again, I'm just going to repeat it, 626-674-3549.
Rick, again, I thank you for hanging out today. You and I will talk some more. We got some ABA basketball stuff to talk about and some things like that. I appreciate you. But I want to get a little bit personal before I let you go. I know we all deal with some type of affliction or disability, things like that. Are you open to share, like, where you at in life today with yourself and just kind of?
Sure. In 2020, 2021, unfortunately, I had a bad divorce. Actually, she's walked out on me, but it happens. So I went through my own mental health conditions and mental health illness, and I had to overcome that in order to be able to get back where I'm good at in business, and helping people. Ultimately, that's what I like to do, is help out, just give a hand up. And from there on, I recovered. It took me 3 years to recover, but where I'm at today compared to what I'm at in 2020, 2021, it's completely different dynamic of who I am as a person, with my personality and where I want to go to in my future.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man, because people don't realize stress. Stress is harmful and it definitely can do damage to our immune system, the chemicals, the free radicals. There's a lot of stuff that could go on with stress, man. So I appreciate you for being honest and sharing that, because again, we're about to start this next conversation. You're more than welcome to hang out. If you want, I'll drop you in the green room. But I got these gentlemen here who are going to help move this next conversation forward around just men and mental health, because for me, that is my sickle cell trait conversation is definitely important. But the stuff I had to go through to get to be in front of you today, the last 16 years of my life, with the suicide ideation and depression, anxiety, and I'm still peeling off those layers, right? I'm still dealing with that stuff. And so, we're taught that there's certain things that we don't talk about. And we know we suffer in silence. Like, we know this, but knowing makes no difference sometimes. We know a lot of stuff, but sometimes are you willing to do the work? So I'm going to bring these gentlemen up here. I got a whole crew down here, so I'm going to bring them up. And like I said, if you want to come up, just let me know and I'll add you to the deck.
I just want to say thank you very much for everybody for listening today. Thank you, Farron, for having me on. If anybody's interested, please reach out to me. I'm always here.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do this. So I'm going to drop him down. Now, I had a guy in the chat. Let me bring him up real quick. What's happening?
I can't hear you, brother.
You can't hear me? Oh, you got to fix your sound.
I can't hear you, brother.
Oh, you got to fix your sound. Yeah, I was ready to chat with you for a second.
I'm trying to hear. I cannot. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to chat with you for a second. I'm gonna bring him back up when he get his sound together. Yeah, you got to fix your. I get. And everybody else, you guys can hear me, right? Can you hear me right here? You can hear me, right? I'm good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so my buddy, you got to check your sound, sir. You got to check your sound. All right, I'm gonna play this PSA real quick, and then we're gonna come back and take on this next episode right here on the Farron Dozier Show, the Military Broadcast Radio Network. That's MBR. Let's go. Let me play this PSA. We're gonna play this one right here. Where we at? Let's do this one right here.
Do you remember studying sickle cell in biology class? What's the Count on Sickle Cell Trait Prevention is here to bring you awareness, education, and prevention conversations around the risk factors of this inherited gene. Visit wdconsct.org. Zetovia salve, made from natural and organic ingredients, good for inflammation, poor circulation, hemorrhoids, yeast infection, lip sores, dry coughs, eye pain, minor cuts and bruises, and ready to purchase at botanicaherbalco.com. botanicaherbalco.com. botanicaherbalco.com.
Muchos de nosotros nos vemos afectados por la enfermedad de células falciformes a diario y un número creciente simplemente no nos damos cuenta. Los impactos de esta enfermedad afectan a todas las personas y especialmente a las personas de color y con antecedentes diversos. Estar en servicio conmigo y con los demás a medida que creamos una mayor conciencia sobre cómo identificar y dirigir el tratamiento de los rasgos de células falciformes y ayudar a las familias a saber cómo superar el trastorno de células falciformes. WDCONS.
All right, that is What's the Count on Sickle Cell Trait Prevention, wdconsct.org. If you're not familiar with sickle cell trait, it is inherited. African Americans, we are number one because in our ancestry, it combats malaria, right? So that's why Blacks are number one, because our area has a high population of malaria being present, mosquitoes. And so that's why. That's the only reason why. It was the body created that defective gene so that our ancestors could survive malaria. Now, outside of Africa and those parts of the world, here in the United States, we don't really have a malaria issue, but there is a conversation that hasn't been had for the most part, that people with sickle cell trait can have complications. Most people are told that you just don't mate with another person because you can have a baby with sickle cell disease. Well, guess what? That's not the case. I became a messenger for that. I almost died and collapsed. Well, I did collapse and almost died from sickle cell trait exertion with rhabdomyolysis in the military, ended my career. And then I find out 5 years later that people have been dying playing sports, military, hanging out at the gym, hanging out in Denver, Colorado, skiing or whatever, mountain climbing, that have had complications. So sickle cell trait, that one gene is doing something to our bodies, and a lot of people don't know, right? So that's my awareness. Pay attention to your body. That's all I can tell you. That's all my message is. The Latin community is number 2. So you can be Caucasian, Mediterranean, Asian, descent, Hispanic. Anybody can have sickle cell. We're all blended today. So anybody can inherit that gene. I have 3 daughters. My youngest daughter has the sickle cell trait. If you just look at Boozer's children, their first child was born with sickle cell. They went and had 2 babies, the brothers, to help that baby be healed from sickle cell. That was the purpose of why they had those 2 brothers. One just got drafted to the NBA, so it's a good thing. But however, the parents had them because that was one way to help their child possibly survive and have a better quality of life. There is no universal cure for sickle cell. No universal cure. A lot of stem cell things going on, but there's no universal cure, so not everybody wants to do that. I see you, Renata. I'm gonna bring you up on the deck in a second if you want to come up and talk. So we're just gonna get right into it. All right. So this segment here, shouts out to Renata. Let me see. Do you want to talk? Are you coming up on the deck? I think she's just gonna be off camera. But I appreciate her. We have been advocating together since about 2016 or so, 15, when I had her on my other show at LA Talk Live, talking about lupus and inherited genes and life. And so she is here helping me put these other conversations together. She's got these men that you're going to see today. She gathered them up for us to have a discussion. It is Men's Mental Health Month. And so again, that conversation is important to me. So as I introduce these gentlemen, just for those listeners, pay attention, right? There's a lot of opinions on what it is to be a male man today. There's a lot of opinions on what a role of a father is supposed to be, right? And so we don't talk generalized on my show. So these are their personal stories, their personal views, their personal perception, interpretations. Listen, you might relate to somebody and realize that, you know what? Yeah, maybe we need to alter some of these discussions. All right. Arion, man, you could hear me earlier, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I was just being comfortable, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm too early." Okay, I'll set out, come back.
No, you good. No, thank you for hanging out today.
Definitely, I want to thank you for your service, sir. I respect my military. My military are the Willis equation. I don't listen to politicians. I listen to y'all because y'all know what's going on.
Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. We're here to have some discussions. What does it be a man, male, fathers? When you were asked to be a part of this panel discussion, what was the first thing that came to mind for you?
Man, I was gung-ho. I was fired up. The reason being because, man, God spoke to me in a vision a long time ago. And my brother, Jason Lisby, he's on here. That's one of my brothers in Christ. That's my big brother. And we established that 2 years ago. And the one thing about it was I realized that the enemy has literally chopped off every head of our community.
Come on.
I mean, started with government, going all the way down through community to the very homes. They started with the homes first for decades. We're talking about since the 1930s and the 40s. The reason being because when the men went off to war at young ages,
right,
and the fathers were sent off,
right? You know that,
right? Women had to, get up the home front. I want to believe that maybe the National Guard was developed by then too, because that way we had something to protect ourselves. The men could stay at home, but when I watch how the enemy crept in, it's not our government. The one thing I love about our government is wonderful. While we're able to walk down the street, believe in what we're able to believe in, dress the way we want to dress, be who we are, and not get decapitated or going through all this stuff across seas, man, that is a blessing. And the one thing I say is that it's just really the corruption in it, but it's like a cancer. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to kill the whole body based off of cancer. You're going to try to remove the cancer first. Yeah. And my thing is just that dealing with the heads being chopped off, the one I can say that my blessing was I never had my father taken away from me in a sense. God got me here. Obviously, I'm operating this body. So that's one thing for sure. Yeah. And the body is here because my father was able to conceive into my mom and have me. So now I'm here. But then even when the enemy tried to sever that and take that away, because I never knew my blood father until I was 35.
Okay.
I still had a dad step in, and this man was a special man because he wasn't just like any other brother. I'm just doing this because I'm dating the moms and we out. No, he took me in and he raised me because he knew I didn't have a father.
Yeah.
And that there, God rest in peace, Bayless Armstrong. He died in February 15, 2015.
Amen.
You know, and that was for my mental to keep me morally standard as here on earth. And then I met my blood father when I was 35, and it was like I got the other half of the story. Found out my grandfather did a little bit of lying. But looking at him and then seeing my face and everything about me, man, you would believe it was like we're looking at a twin.
Yeah. Yes.
And he was such a jolly person. He wasn't anything that was described to me. He wasn't anything that they put labels on or anything. He was actually a really cool dude. And to tell you the truth, it really wasn't his fault. It was something that happened with family and politics. And you know how fathers get back in the day when, you know, their younger daughter was dating a dude, you know.
Of course.
So
man, thank you. Thank you for that. You opened up the conversation, man. You hit everything that we want to discuss today, man. So I'm gonna bring somebody up first real quick, and then we'll move forward with everybody. Let me see where I'm gonna put you down. All right, where you at? Okay, I'm gonna take you down there. Let me see if he can hear me now. My Marine buddy. All right, you good now?
I can hear you now, man.
All right, man. How you doing today?
I'm blessed. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank you. I saw you in the chat over there talking about you with your Marine status. Thank you for my brothers in arms, man. Anything you hear about that conversation about the life insurance? I know it's a real life conversation.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, man, I'm definitely gonna check him out. You know what I'm saying? As far as that, because when I got out of the military, you know, I got the VGLI.
Yeah.
When I got out of the military,
I didn't apply for it.
I applied for it, and I mean, I like it. It's cool, but I like to have something else in place. You know what I'm saying? So that you can say generational wealth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And also, I don't know if IUL, if anybody knows about IULs or anything like that, but those are actually good too, as far as veterans are concerned as well too. Coming out of the military, those are, I mean, great.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. So do me a favor, introduce yourself to listeners, man. What came across your mind when you was asked to be a part of this discussion today?
Well, Sister Renata, she had, you know, basically she had asked me like, hey, Minister Jason, because I am a minister, I'm an ordained minister. Shout out to Life Changing Word Team USA, under Dr. Derek Chris Fields, who is also our bishop. So I was ordained under the ministry. So thank you all for that.
Okay.
But she asked me, she was like, you know, the brother's a veteran and you're a veteran. So why don't you guys, you know, don't you just come on board and see, you know, she said it will be phenomenal that you guys actually talk because you guys both think alike. Or that's a brother in arm thing right there. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's military, you know, no matter what branch, you know,
doesn't matter. Instant connection.
Yeah, instant connection right there, man. So I was just elated over the fact that okay, let's get this out there because there's a lot of things that you had touched on today as far as mental health. Yeah. But you also touched on the loss. Yeah. But what everybody don't understand is that there's another type of death that happens to a father when he is stripped of his crown of fatherhood. It's another type of death that takes place because I myself knows about this. It's been 20 years since I shared a Father's Day with any of my children due to some false allegations that happened against me while I was serving in the military. So it really obliterated. I'm gonna say that it obliterated the type of love that I wanted to share with my children. It obliterated that because of a lie. You know what I'm saying? And when you're my height and my size, there's a lot of things that take place as far as people in their assumptions, you know, like, oh, this guy is big or whatever. I mean, he's got that look like a killer and blah, 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 you know, and it's like, just get to know me before you sit up there and assume something about me. You find out I'm a teddy bear in a grizzly bear package.
You know, are you pointing to that? You know, the Bible talks about when, especially at the fall. On my other show, we're talking about Adam. Where are you?
Right, Adam. Where are you? Yes.
And so that's one of the topics we've been on the last couple of episodes. And it's wild you say that because that other death that I think you point to is that emotional death that took place.
Yes, it's an emotional death that takes
Emotional
place.
death that takes place.
And it's like when you want your children, when you want to instill in them, like you're so excited about being a dad, because I was listening to you and Rick talking about how you guys had dads that were in the service and everything, and I was like, oh Lord, let me get on this conversation real quick, because my dad was in the service, you know what I'm saying? And it's up in the air, because my dad was real fun and everything like that, but don't forget to do the yard. Don't forget, because on Mondays or whatever, we had to do the yard. So on Tuesdays, put it out for the trash man. I can remember one time my dad, you know what I'm saying, I call him Sergeant Major. I remember one time my dad came home from work and he was playing basketball out there with us. We all chilling and everything like that. Like we forgot. Yeah, right. He woke us up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My dad was a drill sergeant too. So he woke us up at 4 o'clock in the morning, man, and had us outside raking them leaves. Now, we thought we was going to be slick and try to turn them lawnmower on. Nah, forget it. The lawnmower cut the grass and pick up the leaves at the same time. Nope. No. He said it better be done before the trash man get there. And the trash man always get there like between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning. So he was like, and we had 2 big sycamore trees in the front yard. So it was like
leaves for days. I'm gonna have to bring you back to do an episode with my before, during, after service.
No problem, brother. No problem. I would love to, man.
So let me bring up another couple of cats real quick, and we're gonna get everybody on the deck real quick. Capital P. What's happening?
Oh, man, it's Capital P, man. We live in effect, live and direct, man.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, it's a wonderful day to be alive. Alhamdulillah, man. How you doing?
No doubt. Thank you for that. Do me a favor, introduce yourself to listeners, give them a little bit, and then we'll, have a little quick discussion.
Well, I'm pretty sure part of the question is my first thought when Renata
for sure
approached me with it. Well, first of all, I'm Capital P, everybody. I'm from Compton, California. I'm a music artist. And it was brought to me again by Renata. And Renata's actually like, although she calls me brother and I call her sister, I don't know if there is a different way I could say we have a closer relationship, because Renata's actually someone that saw me grow up.
Wow.
As a kid.
Yeah.
She was actually somebody that I had one of those more intimate conversations with about things that was going on in the household, and just the daily struggles of being a black kid growing up in the hood, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
She definitely helped a lot with motivation and inspiration, and just trying to keep my head in the right place. And as I thank her for that, I'm pretty sure she know that there was a time where I could not be here at the age of 32, and I'm happy to say I made it, and I would definitely have to give her flowers, being able to say that she definitely played a part in that. So I felt like the conversation about men and their mental health was very important, because what it takes to make it out as a man in general, and then when you add on being a man of color, and then when you add in environment, and then when you add in village, and then when you so on and so forth. So it definitely is a challenge nonetheless, that there's no other way to put it. It's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a obstacle course, and I'm just glad to just be able to be here, share my story, and be able to hopefully inspire and motivate someone else who could be possibly on the edge, or just someone I just want to keep away from the edge, period. So
I like how you said that, because even as an advocate for sickle cell, and again, we talk about loss and grief and mourning, and it's difficult even now, being a kingdom citizen, and giving up my opinions and my views and my will, right? That people but I just still believe that some of these deaths are premature. I like it. I language it like that. Like if the person had some information or some knowledge or some classes, maybe that could have been enough for that person to say, because Satan is attacking us, man. He's on the attack for God's people. So it's like, how do you have a conversation where it's not a right or wrong, good or bad, no opinion? But I still believe that even with these athletes that are collapsing and dying playing sports, trying to get on these teams and, chasing that hoop dream or that football dream, some of these deaths are premature, man. And that's kind of how I'm settling in my own life to language it when I talk and share from my conversations.
We definitely, Shaitan is definitely attacking us all day, every second. And like you just said, having the classes, something I will get into later when we get into the depths of this conversation. I will talk about some of the quote unquote classes that I had. And another good thing about it, you have to learn this as you get older, but us men, we are able to speak more direct,
Yeah.
amongst each other,
Yeah.
specifically amongst each other, with respect. That's another thing, that you have to add to it. But being able to speak to each other more direct, but with respect, we're able to get down to root problems faster.
Right.
And we're able to
Exactly.
create possible solutions and other options if that solution is not the correct solution.
Yeah.
And also able to say, hey, well, maybe the solution is the hard route. That's
Sometimes you
a
gotta have
hard
them
pill
hard
to swallow.
conversations, right? You gotta have them hard conversations. We say that.
Sometimes there is no easy route. Sometimes the way out is the hard route, and we're gonna definitely get into that as well.
I'm gonna put a pin right there, man. Thank you. I got one more. I see one more guest I'm gonna bring up real quick. So let me get this guy.
Yes, sir.
We got capital P is right here. Drop you down. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh man, thank you for hanging out today.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man.
Do me
I
a
love
favor,
that.
introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, I go by the name of Ale. I'm an R&B singer, actor, radio personality, Power
Okay.
104.9 WSTV in Atlanta.
ATL.
Yeah. I'm originally from Jersey though. I'm from
Okay.
Elizabeth, New Jersey. Yeah. So I mean, I've been moving around a lot, doing a lot of this and that.
I see somebody down in the green room like ATL. I see Jason down there going crazy.
Oh man.
So you've heard some of the conversation. Renata helped put this panel, this discussion together. I appreciate her so much for that. What was your thought process when she asked you to come and be a part of this dialogue today?
Mental health, man. That's a huge thing right now. And it's crazy because we get attacked from so many different angles, and it starts as a kid. We're trained to not feel, to not have emotion. I know my dad always told me, yo, ain't no crying. But you just beat me. Why can't I cry? I hurt too. I'm human. So I never understood that, but now in the world where we are right now, it's even coming from our women, and that's hard. When we respond, we're sassy. Why? Because I have a response to your situation that you wanted to talk about. It doesn't make sense to me,
Exactly.
So it's just an all around attack. But it's important for us to have group conversations and discuss these issues, because some people go through some things that other people don't go through. So it's important for us to learn these things, so when we do go through them, we know how to handle the situation and move forward in peace. It's not always about being argumentative and all of that stuff. It's about having peace and sticking together. My whole project right now is based around unity and relationships, because I want to bring the man home, but I want the man to have a safe home to come to, make me want to come home. I was driving trucks for a long time, and my coworkers, they're all married. I'm the only one not married, and I just hear their conversation, and I'm like, hey, you don't want to go home? My objective is to go home when I get up. When I get out the door, I'm ready to come back right now, So they're talking about, man, I'm going to sleep on the road. So I'm like, oh, man, you got a wife at home. And he's like, man, please, that woman run everything in there. I'll leave her to her space and all this. My man cave is in the truck. I'm like, how your man cave outside
Right
the
in
house?
the truck, right? And this is the crazy conversation going back to the beginning of this episode, even around loss and grief and mourning. And you talking about life insurance, like I'm gonna leave her some life insurance for like I can't even enjoy my home right now. I'm alive. You want me to leave? Like, but these are real life things that we say to one another or we say to ourselves,
Right.
and we deal with that internally, and it turns into what? Upset, frustration, anger, strife,
Yeah.
disappointment, embarrassment, shame, like all those core things that we suffer in silence about. And so it's like you said, and those start early in life. And then we
Early in
act out
life.
as adults. We act those ways out as adults. So I appreciate you for saying that, man. Where can they find your music at? Is that your app right there?
Yeah, that's my Instagram, but my music, if you stream it on all platforms, it's Ale. That's AL space LAYE, and it'll pull up everything. Yeah, but it's
All
good
right.
music, man. Good wholesome music, R&B, bring it back to old school feel with a new school vibe.
Oh yeah, we need that. We need that.
Yeah.
All right, I got one. Somebody just popped in. I'm gonna drop you down, and then I'm gonna bring up everybody all at once in a second. I got one more gentleman that just showed up real quick. So
Sounds good.
Ronald, I see you, man. I see you, Ronald. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, good people?
Oh, we good. How you doing today? Oh, you froze. Oh, you got. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ronald? We got car chronicles. This is what happens when you live on we live on TV. Ronald, you can't hear me, man. All right, somebody get in touch with Ronald, man. We gotta get in touch with Ronald. We want to bring him on the deck. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play one more PSA. Come back and get these. I gotta get these men on the deck because you about to just. I ain't even gonna paint the picture for you. You already heard the introductions. These are some conversations that we hear about them everybody's not on social media, first of all, and there's so many opinions about what it is to be a male man. As you mentioned, as you heard, the childhood era stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that happens emotionally, right? And we're not taught to have those emotional conversations as boys, right? But we will today as men. So hey, is that a group? Nah, I'm just joking. I'll be right back. Do you remember studying sickle cell in biology class? What's the Count on Sickle Cell Trait Prevention is here to bring you awareness, education, and prevention conversations around the risk factors of this inherited gene. Visit wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back. This is the Farron Dozier Show. All right, let me get this panel situated here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put myself over here. We're going to bring up Mr. over there. We're going to bring up capital P over here. We got Ali over there. We got who else? Who's missing? Mr. CEO himself is over there. Who else is down there? Anybody else down there? And I think that's it. Ronald is off camera. All right. Oh, all right. So, gentlemen, let me see. Let's see. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. We're going to do it like, who's that? Renata? Renata, do you want to come on the deck, Renata, or are you just hanging out? Oh, she right there. All right. I got you on screen, Renata, if you want to come off camera.
No, I'm fine.
You good? Okay, you can talk off camera. We good. She like, nah, I'm fine.
My hair ain't done.
My hair ain't done. Don't put me over there. Not
My
today.
hair ain't done. That sounds about right.
Don't get scared now. Don't get scared now. You called all the wolves together. Now she's scared.
Right. Let me see where Ronald. Let me see if Ronald. Ronald, you got your sound together, sir? Can you hear us, Ronald?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, man. Thank you.
We can hear you.
Cool.
How you guys doing, man? How's everybody in the room?
Oh, we good. Do me a favor, man. Introduce yourself. We went around the deck already, so just kind of give us some background of who you are.
Hey, man, my name is Ronald. They call me Big Ernie, man. I'm part of the Watts area in Los Angeles. Pillar of the community. I'm a CEO of First Stop for a Second Chance nonprofit. I also own a record label. I also do movies with Sony. Um, I'm just a major facilitator within the whole Los Angeles area, along with Miss B, Miss Ivy, Renata. I want to thank her for allowing me to get in y'all group. I also have heavy affiliations with Streaming Media Live, Roberts Communication Company. I'm just here, man, to do some support, man. I appreciate what people do. I appreciate what people do when you get to talking about our people. Our people
Thank
are in
you.
trouble, and I'm here to make a change about that. You know, I just did a whole cipher with my whole crew, girls, for some incident that happened in the community of Watts.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I'm heavily connected to the city council in around here, Tim McGoster, and a whole lot of other political figures along with stars.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
I just want to bring a lot to the table, man. Whatever you guys want to do, you know what I mean. If I can assist in it, but I think music, and I'm using music as a platform to spread a word. A lot of things that I have going on, I spread
Yeah.
it through music. You know what I mean. They try, like somebody on there was saying, I want to bring that old stuff back. You know what I mean, where we start to learn how to communicate, because that's the way I grew up.
Hey, that's the way I grew. I learned about love and all kind of. I was singing stuff as a child. Like when I heard as an adult, like why was I singing that at 8 years old? I had no business singing that song.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah,
all?
yeah. You know, that's a lot, man. I have R&B artists. I have numerous, multiple artists. Like I said, you know, you guys will learn about me. You know, I'm heavily, when I say heavily connected to the Los Angeles area, well
Yeah.
respected, give respect, receive respect. You know,
Thank you.
I just appreciate the people inside this group, because this group mean a lot. If Renata brought it to the table for me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
respect that, and I'm gonna get on
Thank you.
board as much as I can, and any assistance that we can to grow the platform.
Thank you so
Amen.
much. All right, gentlemen. So on my other Farron Dozier show on AMFM out here in San Bernardino, we're addressing. I came up with Adam. Where are you? There was a lot of stuff that went on at the fall. For those of you who read the word,
Man,
right? So when I got back in the church 7 years ago, I came back because my dad transitioned, and I started looking at how much time I had left, and I was feeding my soul, but my spirit was starving. So I 7 years later, I could look back and say, man, I was that first beatitude that the kingdom was for the poor in spirit, because I was poor in spirit. Like I said, my soul was being fed, but I was poor in spirit. And then that morning is that second one. So for me, looking at that and then doing all the work that I had to do coming out of the military, suicide ideation, depression, anxiety, career ended, my identity was trapped in the camouflage in the rank. And then to find some education that helped me start to unravel some of that stuff, right? And then to go back and look at my childhood and the stories that I made up about my mom and my dad and
you
my
wanna
peer
go
age,
over there?
but more about the stories that I made up about myself, like who I had to become to survive those.
Sitting right there.
That was the biggest thing for me. So when we talk about, for me, mental health is the label, right? That's the label. We have to take that label of mental health, peel it off, and figure out what does that mean to me as far as mental health. So who wants to go first? If you once you remove the label of mental health, who wants to take that first? Go ahead, sir.
All right. As far as the I'm doing this both from a spiritual and from a um, professional background with forensic psychology. We deal with psychological warfare on a daily basis. All right. We
That's
deal with
it. That's what I
psychological
label it.
warfare on a daily basis. All
Mhm.
right. I myself, coming out of the Marine Corps, 3 combat tours or whatnot, then coming home to my own war, I attempted suicide twice. All right. And you know that in the military, they taught us how to break down a weapon, put it right back together, know all the components and everything like that. So um,
Yep.
when I looked at my weapon or whatever, I saw it as a way to get out. You know what I'm saying? A way to get out, a way to leave everything I got going on here. You know, earlier I told about briefly talked about what happened with as far as false allegations, what happened to you, what could destroy your livelihood as far as everything that you work for. All it takes is just one lie, and then everything is stripped from you. So when I was dealing with that psychological warfare, I didn't look at myself, and I didn't look at those that it were hurt. I looked at who I was missing. All right, brothers in arms. I'm looking at the fact that, okay, here I am still here and they're gone, like the punchline to a bad joke. So why not just do what I need to do to get right back to them, because they're the only ones that understand me. But in the word, this Lord says, the dead don't know anything once they're gone. They have no recollection. They have no dealings with the living, none whatsoever. So when we're dealing with psychological warfare as a black man, and I'm going to bring this up. When we're dealing with psychological warfare as a black man, we're dealing with generational psychological warfare. It's not just what we're dealing with now. It's what we're dealing with what happened in the past. And we should be able to sit up here and be curse breakers. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. That's
Generational curse
Lord.
breakers.
Yes, Lord.
All right. I speak this to all my brothers right here, especially my brothers who do music. That's where I live at. I love singing. I love worshiping. That's my go-to right there. But when I dealt with psychological warfare, that was silenced. The music was silenced. And the reason why it was silenced because I'm a threat to the kingdom to Lucy's kingdom. I'm gonna call him Lucy today.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He don't get that much. He don't get that much credit. He don't get that
He
much
ain't getting no
credit.
credit. Your name Lucy today. So what I'm trying to convey to my brothers here right now is our psychological warfare goes beyond the natural. We're dealing with a spiritual psychological warfare right about now that we as men have to rise above, right? Like
yes,
right.
Lord.
Accountability, but also holding each other accountable. It's just not like we looking in the mirror like, hey, you got to do this, give ourselves affirmations. Hey, I'm affirming the next brother. You know what I'm saying? All you brothers that's looking at me, I'm affirming you right now. Hey, you got this. I got your 6.
Yeah.
Amen. That's it. Let's
You know
tell
what
it
I'm saying?
again.
I got your 6. You know what I'm saying? My
Tell it
company,
again.
we got your 6. I have a protection company right now where we deal with all levels of security going into intelligence gathering and investigations, as well as rescuing and relocating traffic victims.
Wow.
All right.
Right.
So, like I
Thank
said, we
you.
got y'all 6, brothers. So I'm gonna relinquish my
Thank
stand
you.
right now so somebody else can talk, because I run my mouth too much.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for that. I mean, again, everyone who has said anything so far has set the tone for the different dynamics of all of us, right? All of us can relate to it. And I say that because, you know, as a soldier, I was taught at 19 years old when I joined, civilians are not going to understand you. And that was drilled into my head. Civilians will not understand you. Well, guess what? After freaking 16 years of myself trying to figure out who I am, I don't understand me either. Right? So then I went to God, I went to the Holy Spirit, like, what's in between that? Relatedness. Right. If we could relate to one another, right? Use your imagination. What would you do if you had them circumstances, right? What would you do if you was in this position? Now we could talk about anything on the planet. But if I'm trying to understand you and all that, no, I'm throwing away half the stuff you're saying because I can't know. But relatedness. So who wants the next? Who wants to take on that? Let me see.
Rock, paper, scissors. Because you
go ahead. Go ahead.
Paper, rock.
Let's go.
All right, there you go. Ready to go? All right, come
on. They trying to fight it out. There we go. He cut him up.
That's called healthy communication right there.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yo, we got it. I'm gonna be fair about it. I don't want to be the one like, yo, no. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you good. Appreciate that.
I really am happy, and I'm very much humble, and I'm very much appreciative for those things. First, I got to give my Lord thanks to God to even having this opportunity to be able to speak publicly. That's my first time ever being on someone's podcast where it's actually going through, we're going live. So, and you also dealing with somebody who mental health. I am diagnosed just recently on June 4th of having SCD, which is social communicational disorder. Once I realized that I had that, it put everything in perspective of all my triggers.
Made sense, huh?
Because I couldn't understand how to talk. I didn't understand. I dominate conversations, but I didn't know I was dominating conversations. I'm just talking. I can't read between lines when people are just nodding their head in agreement or they're actually relating to me because I'm tunnel vision on it. I don't have a sensor of that. My vocal tones, sometimes I'm too loud in places where I'm not supposed to be. Sometimes my verbiage gets crossed up. I might get crossed up in this very much talking now. It can happen. And it happens like this to understand that mental health, and I was born with this. I didn't even realize it. And it's borderline autism. It's not exactly on autism because I don't have a fixed pattern or a fixed thing that I'm always focused on. My range is wide, even though it's still fixed in my certain areas of interest. My range is still wide, and I still enjoy getting involved. I don't fall back into my quiet moment. I'm always in. So people can't really tell that I have these issues. So when I'm talking, I end up rubbing somebody the wrong way, or I end up offending somebody, and I didn't realize I did it. And then when it comes down to it, they're coming off at me. Now the war zone comes in, and now I got rage, I got depression, I got anger, I got all this stuff because now I'm defending myself, but I don't even know why I'm getting bullied. I don't even know why I'm getting beat up. I don't even understand why I'm getting verbally attacked. And especially coming from the ladies community. A lot of the women, they run, and I can't understand why. But yet we sit here and we watch I've been watching a lot of these been coming up on Facebook quite recently about how women are now starting to acknowledge that men suffer in silence, that men are going through things, that we need to be in a woman's place and understand how it works instead of trying to overthrow it, thinking that they're trying to dominate over us. And when I hear that, I'm like, that's beautiful. But the one thing I do catch on to is it's men too. And let's take it back to the cells. Let's take it to the internal. These hard conversations, these hard conversations are hard to have. And I know these brothers are probably going, except for my big brother, Jason, I know he's going to be okay because we had these conversations before. But then again, I might catch a noogie from him later. But the conversation I'm explaining is about the history. Knowing your world history is very important, and then knowing your U.S. history. But they're also understanding that how God fits himself in the middle of all of that.
Gotta know that spiritual history too, man.
Yes, the spiritual history and understanding about man's growth from the very beginning of Adam. Like you said, where is Adam? Well, Adam basically made 4 mistakes in Genesis. That's why the sin is called fall of man. Fall of man. Not the fall of woman because she ate the fruit. No, the fall of man. One, the reason why she was even brought to the fruit was because of the fact you let another being, entity, whatever it was, get inside your wife's head. But yet you made an oath to God when you said that she is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. That means you said that you asked his permission to cover her.
He said that.
He opened up his mouth and said that I shall name you woman, for you came from the womb of man. So if that's the case, you made the first mistake because you didn't cover her when the enemy was in her ear. You wasn't present. You were somewhere zoned out, working on tilling the land or, focused on whatever you was focused on, but you didn't pay attention. You professed it very well. It was very beautiful.
That's a dog. That's a cat.
You're still going, and he's over here whispering in your wife's ear. You're supposed to cuff your wife and show her, because the one thing that God told her, she told her the rules, but Adam was supposed to train her how to follow the rules. Lead her the way. So, in a sense, when it comes to men, and this is where I break it down to the broken home, fathers are very important, because that was the established understanding. When you're a priest in your own home, as so it says in the word, as you're connected to God, you're the main line, as well as you are the seed bearer. You carry the seeds. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. We're the sole providers. And then when you don't have that man present, for women, they're ungrounded. So just as much as men are affected by the lack of fathers, because we don't know how to get grounded, they don't even understand and see what a real man is, because they don't even have an example in their own home to know the boundaries, the understanding, the humbleness, the nurturing part that their mother's supposed to teach them, because they don't have any boundaries on it. So they're walking all over them, and especially in this society with the enemy Come on now. He done manipulated the whole entire system.
Thank you.
Knocked us back on our butts.
Thank you.
And now we're sitting here like Elijah running from the Jezebel into the caves.
Yeah.
But what did God ask Elijah? He asked the same thing he asked Adam. Where are you? Why are you here in a cave? Go back. So that's where we got to get to the understanding. And knowing that, me even having social communicational issues, I figured out a lot of things. First thing, Black men, right? Hear me very closely when I say this. Did you know that when you call yourself a Black man, you are putting the stigma on you?
Oh, goodness.
Did you know that
somebody
back
said
in the past, somebody back in the past, they created these things? There was a Native American. There's a Native American, but they call it Indian. Then there was a Caucasian. There was an Irish. There was an Asian.
All hyphenated, all second class, all hyphenated.
All hyphenated underneath American. I'm going to help you with this one. This is really beautiful, and I need you to hear this. I don't want you all to be offended. Abandon it. The reason why you're not being heard, because they're not acknowledging the stigma that you're under. They never acknowledged you as slaves. They're not acknowledging you now. They know what they labeled you as. It's time to understand modern America versus indigenous America and versus ancient America, or, prehistorical America to where it is today. We are modern urban Americans. Demographic, nationality, and then our ethnicity is all of many different things. We could go on ahead and go down the ancestry line and find out that we got so many tribes in us is ridiculous.
No, I'm gonna tell you how I agree with you, because my Jason would relate to this, and if you look in your life as an empirical truth, you'll see it for yourself. We label one another as soon as I label you I was trained to label another human being as a terrorist, and then we're trained to kill terrorists. I can label you right now as a terrorist and kill you because I can make you a terrorist in my mind. That's how powerful the brain is. That's how powerful labels are. So what you point to is exactly what we got to go back to for people to understand. The labels disconnect us from being people first.
Exactly.
I'm a suspect to the police because he's trained to look at me as I'm a suspect first. The same way that you could be a terrorist to me. Same way that you could put a Laker jersey on, I could put a Clipper jersey on, and we'll fight over a team that we don't even own stocks, nothing in, because I got the jersey on. So I appreciate you pointing that out, because we got to get back to that basics of what it is to be a person and how powerful these labels, as my guy said, it's a psychological war right now, y'all. It's psychological, and it goes back for me. I found my peace. When I look back at the Greek philosophy, it's like, well, no wonder the Greek gods told us that what leadership looked like and what the servants looked like. What, of course, who challenged the gods back then? Nobody challenged. That's why religion is so weaponized today with us. So, anybody else who's okay? Capital P, you was next, man. You won that, and thank you, Arian, for that. But bro, you set the tone. I'm with you on that conversation right there, man.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I just want to thank these gentlemen for going before me, because that actually helped with what I'm about to say.
Okay,
amen.
So let me first of all just point out that number one, we got into some personals with Jason and his situation with his kids and so on and so forth. We got into should we say race, ethnicity. We got into a little bit of history, and we also, and then Ale also brought up, modern today, being like, hey, being a man today is hard being a man because you can't even speak. When you speak, a woman will then turn and say that you're sassy because you have now spoke against whatever her initial point was, and you don't side with her or you don't bow to her will. Right. So there's a lot of points that's been hidden so far. Right. And with that being said, to be a man today, and dealing with our mental health, it stems from a lot of other different places that we are being attacked as far as our health goes. Our emotional health has been attacked, our physical health has been attacked, our spiritual health has been attacked. Even again with the race thing and coming up where we coming up now in the United States, part of the problem with that is we don't really have an identity, with us
Oh,
not having an identity. Like, for example, we're Black African Americans. I'm pretty sure everybody see that when they have to take a test or when they have to go fill out some type of paperwork. We're Black African Americans. But at the same token, a lot of our lineage didn't necessarily come from Africa.
nope.
Not all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Nothing with what he said. If we were to go down our ancestral tree, we will find out that we're made up of a whole bunch of different tribes. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
part number one, I want to say that I would say one of the challenges of being a man and why we have so much problems with having mental health issues is that we technically don't have an identity. Besides the fact that we are men because we look between our legs and we have the parts, right? We grow up and we have the strength. You know what I'm saying? We're put in certain positions that quote unquote will make us a man, right? But at the same token, what defines a man is now so abroad that you can fall into so many different categories and you can just be lost. And when
Mm-hmm.
you figure out that you're lost, when you realize it, like, damn, I really don't know what I'm doing, who I am, where I'm trying to go,
Man,
so on and so forth. When you realize that, the abyss that you instantly go into,
the deep. Mm-hmm.
the abyss that you instantly go into
Mm-hmm.
is a
When
place
you say
that
abyss, when you say give me real life, what is that abyss for you? Because I know what it means for
Mm-hmm.
me. What does that look
okay,
like? What
well,
does that
see,
look like?
again, since there's so many different layers to it,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
abyss could be the man that is driving a truck, has a family at home, but don't want to go home
Mm.
because the only light he see is the light of being outside. It instantly get dark the moment he even gets a mile away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
The
sir.
abyss, the abyss can also be a place of walking
Woo.
into your workplace and you have all the skills, you have all the stripes and the stars and the certificates and so on and so forth,
Mm,
but you know that it means nothing.
mm,
But the only reason you're here is because you have to be here in order for you to take care of yourself, quote
mm,
unquote, and this family that you have at home. The abyss can be a place where if I fight, I'm wrong because I'm a man fighting you.
yeah.
But if I don't fight, I'm still less of a man or not a man at all because why wouldn't I fight?
Right.
And now I have to deal with, and I really uh 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 felt Jason when he said what he said about not being able to deal with his kids for the last 20 years. I don't have a kid that's 20, but my oldest son, which is downstairs right now, he is 17.
Mm,
It took for my son to get 16, maybe
mm,
15, before we get to a place where me and my son can actually have a conversation
mm,
because he had to get to a place in the understanding of where
mm,
his mom was puppeting him
mm,
into feeling a certain way and
mm,
looking at things through her lens
mm,
and
mm,
having to
mm,
go through so many different things as a kid
mhm,
before he was able to say, you know what,
mm.
this not right. This can't be right.
Yep.
And the only person who at this point I feel like I can actually get the right answer from to what these problems are is probably my dad. But
Mm.
this is after me trying
How
to
many
come
years?
basically rescue him
Yeah.
and him basically telling me I'm not going with you.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he had to go through a whole phase of life of quote unquote hating his father because of the things that his mother had put into his head. And then the abyss that put me in, I'm just gonna live my life and act like I don't have a kid over there
Act like.
until
Pretend.
someday, hopefully Allah comes and put something in their life to wake them. And I have to hope.
Right?
And I have to hope.
Right?
That was
And another
mental.
thing about this
There
hope
it is.
too.
There it is.
Another thing about this hope too, as men, we was raised, we get whooped and we are told we can't cry. Right? Wow.
I don't know
So
what
we
you.
don't
I
know how
cried.
to feel. Quote unquote. We don't know how to feel. We don't know how to
Don't
manage
cry.
our emotions because we can't let our emotions out. Right.
Yeah.
So this is a very powerful thing, right? So now we're living off of this certain type of morale and certain type of principles that we learned in our home, right? So now we have this principle going back to what we just said earlier about the abyss of being a man that has to just deal with whatever the situation is with the child's mother and live in that
All that.
until we can find a new life, right? And a new breath, right? So with that being said, I was raised to not snitch. Right? I was raised to not be a tattletale. So imagine standing on this type of moral in my personal life, but I have to contemplate, am I going against my morale if I were to take her to court? Am I going against that morale now? Now I have to question every decision I made before this one to see if all of those were the correct decision, including this one, or the wrong decision.
Man, you real life.
And the place that put me in, I already answered the question by saying I waited for the opportunity to become available for me and my son to reconnect.
When he was ready.
At the same token, going through that motion, going through that whole period of time was an abyss in itself.
Yeah, thank you.
You
Man,
know? And
I can relate to you.
I also want to say too, the society, this is the last thing I want to say because we're talking about men's mental health. We live in a society right now, although this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? This is also Pride Month. You see how they play with us?
Yeah, I see. Man, big time. Come on, because Pride stomps that, man.
Another thing about being a man of color, so to speak, right? We quote unquote have Black History Month, but we know that Black History Month is also the shortest month of the year. And as far as it being quote unquote Black History Month, we don't know quote unquote Black history. We know his story. I don't know if y'all caught that. We don't know Black history. We know his story. Quote unquote, the reason why, even through my generation, because I'm not a part of everyone's generation in here, right? I'm born in the 90s. I see some people in here that could have been born in the 80s, could have been born in the 70s, could have been born in the 60s, right?
Yeah,
so
I was
with
80s,
that
baby.
being said,
80s,
only thing that we learn coming up through the system, we all learn like Malcolm X. We all learn like Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? We all learn Carver. We all learn the same people, but we don't learn the Mansa Musas.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
going
these
deeper.
people aren't in the textbooks. They want us to know certain things
their
about
history. Yeah, their history.
Can I chime in just real quickly on that? Because I was connected into that. I just wanted to say that, and I don't want to interrupt anybody else because I know everybody's got to get a chance to talk. But real quickly, that's the whole problem with the whole entire concept of our quote unquote Black history. They only go back to the 1800s. Yeah. They don't talk about what happened in the 1500s and the 1600s.
Oh, yeah,
they don't even understand the concept of what slavery really was. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even here in America, in the United States. It wasn't even in the Northern Shores. It was down in the Southern Islands with the Maroon slaves. That's what 90% of it was. And it was from Africa through indigenous native tribes in the South. Incas,
Man,
Mayans.
they left out they
They
don't
left
talk
out
about
all of that.
they don't talk about how they hung the Hispanics and took their land either. They don't talk
No,
about
they
none of
don't talk about none of
all
that.
that stuff is left out.
May I
But
just end this
I gotta
on this
pass it
one
again. You
last
got
note?
one last piece. Go ahead.
Go
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
ahead.
last
Pass the
piece.
mic.
As far as the history goes, and who we are as people, so on and so forth, right? I just want to say that we need more of this, which is community.
Yes,
And we
Lord. Come on.
a lot of the problems from the beginning of quote unquote like slave times is we almost turned on ourselves from the beginning. A lot of people don't talk about the simple fact of how much power we had in our land. And the greed, on top of being manipulated, also got a lot of us sent here. We don't
Mm-hmm.
talk, yeah, we were slaves here, but in our native land, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
we were technically already a slave. The word slave just wasn't it. We just wasn't a
Right.
slave.
Exactly.
And there was some type of empowerment of being able to say, yeah, I helped the master today do this, or I helped my king today do that. I built this, I did. There was, that gave you something.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, if our king said, you're gonna go with these people, you, your brother, so on and so forth, and you're gonna help them do the same thing that you do here. Mentally, we don't think of it as a slave because we already do this and we're happy to do it. But once we got there and saw the tables turn, like, oh, this ain't nothing like being at home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From that point moving forward, everything changed for us. And we lost our quote unquote community, our identity, so on and so forth. And we need more of this so that we can make a new identity for ourselves. And when we do it, we need to keep it here, if y'all don't mind. We need to keep it here. We need to make the plan. We need to have the
Come
plan
on.
basically executed before we
Mm-hmm.
open our mouth and say, hey guys, guess what we're doing? Because that was another problem in our history. People
Ooh,
want to
too much
be
talking.
bragging and
Mm.
boastful. Oh, I want to do this. It should be equality. It should be. And every person that opened up their mouth and said something before the objective was actually completed, dead.
Gave the enemy. Yep.
Let's
Gave the
get
enemy
it
room.
done first. Let's have a
Move silence.
foundation first. Let's
Mm-hmm.
have it going first, working, functioning first. Then we can open up our mouth and say something. Because if we
Amen.
continue to say something before the plan is actually in effect, the plan will never actually succeed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
I
lot, man.
rest.
Thank you, Mr. Music, man. You've heard a lot. What you got for us, man? I know you got something. You can't hear? Oh, what happened to your sound?
He hopping.
Oh, he hopping in and out. All right, so I'm just gonna while he makes his way back in. Man, fellas, y'all have no idea, bro. These are the conversations that I know that we need to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are missing the spiritual
Mm-hmm.
history, the spiritual context. I had to literally go back and heal the first 40 years of my life. Literally go back to a 2-year-old decision that I made that was unsafe, and I was lost in relationship with my mother. Like that's how far I had to go back. And it wasn't just emotional, it was also identity created of who I had to be to feel lost and unsafe in relationships. That I would never, ever, ever feel that disappointment again.
Amen.
At all cost. At all costs. Now that was 2 years old. Now what is the mind of a child what does an even 2-year-old mind even know what to do with a conversation like that? No, because why? Because our brain is developing. Our brain is giving meaning to life right out of even in the womb. People read to the baby, and I mean we know what happens. That's the psychological stuff. That's the mental. That's the child development stuff that my parents didn't have that. They didn't know to know that. And then when I talked to my mom about it, she was like, "Well, your grandfather, we didn't get it. We didn't ask no question. We just had to deal with it and figure it out for ourselves." Well, no wonder. But I needed information. Transition and change for me was emotional and hurtful. They called us latchkey kids in 1978. Coming home by myself, living from a family of full house with my grandparents and uncles as children, and then now my mom marries my middle sister's dad, and I'm in an apartment off of Washington and Redondo by myself, and now I got to walk home by myself in the third grade. And my relationship at the time was I had no relationship at the time, so being home for 90 minutes felt like 20 hours. But I was 8. So how do we even know these kind of conversations when we're children? Right? And then we act them out as adults. It's just this conversation. Ronald, man, are you ready to talk? I got you on mute because you got a lot of background noise, man. Yeah, you got a lot of background noise.
Ryan,
You got a lot of background noise.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
This is powerful. Like capital P. Wow. Like I love you so much. You hit everything. Brother Ariane. Great. Oh my God, Mr. Life. You amazing. I heard you from the beginning. I know you keep having difficulties. Minister Jason and Mr. Ron. You guys are powerful together. This needs to go on and on and on. Like Capital P said, this conversation should not end. And I feel like it's bigger than this now. And it's time to set up a panel in person.
Yeah.
And with your permission, I would like to do that. But I want to be behind the scene because you guys, this is for the men and the young men, our youth. They need to see this and need to hear it.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Renata. It's definitely important. And again, I'm waiting for our other guests to come back. Ronald, I got you on mute. You want to say anything, man? Anything you heard?
Yeah, I want to say a few things right fast.
Go ahead.
Hey, first of y'all got to excuse me, man, because I'm moving around here. I'm trying to get familiarized with how the show operates. But yeah, man, I'm moving around. So my thing is, when we're talking about mental health, I can tell you a lot about mental health, causative factors, underlying issues, character defects, and the whole 9 yards. You know, like I said, I grew up in the Watts area. I have a lot of misguided young men over here. That's what we do. We specialize. Look, we just gave our 33-year gang truce in the community. We did that for 33 years, and it's still going strong right now today. The murder rate in our society, in our area of LA where we govern, have dropped drastically, but it comes from mental health, man. A lot of people and our teens are suffering from mental health. I understand that, but they don't understand that. And it's up to us that do understand it. Say, when you know better, you do better. So when we're dealing with these youth or anybody else suffering from mental health, you have to approach them from their point of perspective. You can't approach them
Meet them where they at.
from you having common sense and thinking that they're supposed to understand the common sense that you have, but that's not how that works. So in dealing with people with mental health, you have to understand that first and foremost, that it is a mental health problem. Then you'll be able to address the problem more critically and more correctly as possible when dealing with a mental health person. So my thing is, like I said, I agree wholeheartedly with what Renata said. I'm hands-on. I'm really hands-on. Finding a location and inviting the people out, you know what I mean, or finding the youth and giving them a place to actually reside. I'm, like I said, I'm heavy in Zone 6 over here in Watts. I have a associate of mine that's heavily involved in the community too. His name is Lowdown, and my business partner, Dawusha Rails. We actually own a train station, the old DWP place in Watts, the private street and everything. So I would love to try to set something up and see if we can arrange something where we can call on the youth to show up in the community for education. and be educated on how to uh, put their life back in perspective as best they can with their mental health problem. See, a lot of people want you to do things, but then again, one thing about people with mental health, you have to have something with them that they can understand that'll make them want to come to the program. Like everybody donate a little something, something. Let's buy pizza or whatever, sit down and have a conversation with them that leads up to something, but actually have some assistance for them when they walk away.
Exactly. That's the other piece of that.
And
Yeah, it's easy. That
I'm
it's
with it, man.
easy to
Like I
do
said, we
that.
own a station, and I have a couple of more facilities. We already do food giveaways and all that. But I would love to meet up. I don't know if everybody's in LA, but you know, I'm all the way around the world, man, with it. I have teams
Yeah.
everywhere in different states.
Yeah.
So this podcast that we're doing right now, I can bring in people from other states into this
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. Thank you,
Freeway
Ronald,
Rick,
man.
Ricky Ross,
Oh yeah.
you name it, I can get them on the line.
Ronald, man, thank you for that, man. Your name is the same as my dad's. My dad's name was Ronald, man. So when I see your name, I get a little emotional because that was my
Hello.
dad's name. So I appreciate you, man. All right, so
Hello.
yeah, well,
The
we can
Lord
hear
has
you.
fall off again.
Yeah, you done fell off again, man. Mr. Music, man, come on, man. Take us home, man. Give us your input, man.
Kick me off.
No, right? We can hear you. I can hear
can't
you.
hear nothing.
I can hear you. I can hear you. We can hear. Oh, there you go again. Anybody got something they want to say? I mean, I appreciate everybody's conversation so far. Must have. Go ahead, sir.
One of the things that we can take from this is that we glean from each other. You know what I'm saying? That we're dealing with a lot of brothers that are dealing with some things. I'm still blown by what brother Capital P said. You know what I'm saying? As far as abysmal, everything is abysmal. Now you gotta add psychological abyss to that. Now, because we find ourselves falling into so many stigmas.
Yeah.
All right. We find ourselves falling into so many stigmas as men. I'm not gonna say black men, as men.
Men. That's what we got.
You know what I'm saying? Men, period. But
everybody dealing with something.
Exactly. And then you factor in, okay, if you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a professor, if you're a music, you know what I'm saying, music guru, because I'm looking at about 3 music artists right now, something like that. And it was like, you know what, maybe I should put a singer up there to my daggone self, but I'm not gonna do it. But
you say your brother.
But you're looking at brothers that, you know what I'm saying, can add to our young men. We can pour into our young men. We can take pieces of ourselves,
yes, Lord,
and pour them into our young men. But the thing is, though, will they be receptive? Is the one question. All right, what is the environment that they're in to where they will be? You know what I'm saying? Will they allow themselves to, you know, glean from what we're giving them? And then what is the environment in the household? Is there a man present? Are we going to be stepping on toes, or are we going to be adding to? Because the village has been shut down for a long time.
Yes, it has.
The village has been shut down a long time. The village has been silent
Mm-hmm.
in our kids' life. And our young men, if you see some of the young men that we got to deal with out here in Vegas, we want my brother, you know what I'm saying, Capital P and Ronald come out and say something to us. Help us out with this one, man. You know,
I can't even tell you about Chicago right now. So,
man, so that's what, you know, I want. But what we need to do is we need to get back to our spiritual root. Lord says,
yes,
my
Lord,
people who are called by my name,
yes, Lord,
themselves and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and hear their land.
Yes, Lord.
All right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of healing that needs to be taking place, but it starts with us as brothers. If we can stand up and we can say, "Hey, brother, I'm here. Let's heal together. Let's do that, man." Seriously.
Yeah,
I agree
basically
totally.
too. How these young guys identify with, like, they identify themselves as YNs. Like, why, you get what I'm saying? That comes with something. So with you taking on that, it's like, yo, now you got to play the role. that's not what we need right now, you know. So it's big, man. Because see, look, me, I like my son. I found out about my son at 13 years old when he was 13. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't live his whole life and all this, and he used to these people. His mother asked me to be his friend. You know, now you're playing with my mind at that point. It's like, oh, okay, you just be his friend. Like, come on, I'm a man before all of this. You get what I mean? So I'm gonna stand on business. I got a son. We need to contact the dude, is what I told her, that you then accused or said that he's the father. You get what I'm saying? Because we need to hash that out, because I've been on that side as well. So me knowing that I've been there and what it did to me psychologically, I'm like, yo, I could never see myself doing that to another brother. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't work. So, you know, she took it upon herself to lie to my son and now play with his mind, and now made our relationship, still to this day, like we barely speak, and I had absolutely nothing to do, but I didn't even know he existed. But when the mother has that kind of power over him in his mind, he feels like, yo, my mom's not gonna lie to me. But come on, like she clearly did. So we gotta figure out how to get around that. And it's about bringing our sisters in on these conversations as well, so they could understand and we could understand them. It has to be a give and take, you know, and accountability and all of that stuff, because that's what we lack in our community, man. I was just dating, I was on Queen's Court season 2 on Bravo and Peacock with Lisa Ray, K. Michelle, and Delicious. So I was asked by Lisa Ray's daughter to keep a secret that I didn't feel like we should have been keeping in the first place. It shouldn't have been a secret. You get what I'm saying? She had a baby while she was pregnant and didn't want to tell Lisa Ray, and made it now my issue too. You get what I'm saying? So now I gotta hold on to this issue because you are afraid of something. You get what I'm saying? And that's an example of what we take on as men. And that's what we have to stop. It has about being transparent. We should, my thing, and I did tell her this, I said, yo, listen, this is our life. Your mother's gonna have to deal with us living our life no matter what. Why are we keeping this a secret from somebody that you, quote unquote, love? You get what I mean? Like, if she was doing the right thing for you mentally, she would have made sure that you knew that you could come to her with anything. And that's the issue. So, yeah, I mean, we just got to work on communication. It's always a gap. And it's because nobody wants to see the other side. They just want to see their side. Like I sat here all this time and I listen to everybody and I respect all different perspectives in this. It proves the point that I made earlier, that we all go through something different and in a different way, you know. And this platform, StreamYard, is trying to hold us down. But this is a sign. It's telling us that we need to create our own platform to make this happen and work properly.
Like she said, in person.
Because I can't hear nobody now. Like, I'm through.
We can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. I've been waiting to hear you.
Sister Renata set that up so we all can sit down and talk with each other. Like, seriously, I can feel the atmosphere right now, man. I can feel this atmosphere right now. It's about to be something like beautiful,
man.
I'm serious.
Back, Jason. Back to the beginning, man. Like I said, my mom was like, "You need anything you need to look at about what it is to be a person. Go back to the garden. Go back to the beginning." And as somebody mentioned earlier, somebody said 4 things. Those 4 things that I look at what Adam went through was shame, embarrassment, disappointment, and blame. And
I got one for you. It's a little bit more deeper than it. Okay, so Adam, and you just pay attention to the story. So we already know the first one, that he was negligent. That's the part. That's the first half. The second half, he jumped into idolatry, because once Eve ate the fruit, she gave something to him and then he ate. Wait, you just put him over God. You just was not obedient no more, following her. When you knew she was out of line, when you knew she was wrong. If you would have just stood up and said, I ain't eating that,
right?
That wouldn't have been an issue. But you see, that's the second. Now, the third was God was calling. They hid. Now you're trying to conceive your sin. You trying to hold it. And then it comes to shame. Only reason why you feel shame is because of the fact you did something wrong and you don't want to own up to it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that leads to embarrassment. Now the fourth one was when he finally got put on blast, he did a little boy move. He didn't stand up as a man. Like you stand up to your father. Yep, I did that.
Yeah.
I said I'll take my repercussions. He didn't do that. He said, but it was the woman you gave me. Not only did you had a chance to redeem yourself right there. You didn't even do it. You threw her right back to the wall.
You threw her to the wolves right there.
You threw her straight to the wolves. So not only was you negligent, you threw her right back in that same position. So she had to own up and do it
do you
for herself.
understand? But so can you see that? Can you see from that and all the stuff that came after that? What was going to be between her and old boy and what Adam had to do now and all? Like, can you see how that all got out of whack, malfunction? If we're born in rebellion and we're born in iniquity, from that moment on, we all got some of that. We all got some of that. So I have to own that. I have to realize where my stuff is coming from and own that and know where it's coming from. So
there we go.
Take responsibility for that. So when it happens, oh, you know what? I didn't mean to say it like that. Please forgive me. And don't apologize, because if you don't apologize and change your behavior, that ain't forgiveness.
That ain't
So you got responsibility. So Jason, man, I want to talk to you, man, because for me, the spiritual conversation, I'm tired of hearing people say, well, the schools took the Bible out the schools. No, okay, and that should be happening in the house anyway first.
Yeah.
Why we gotta wait for the school to put the Bible in? No, why can't we should be doing that in our state.
They should be doing that now.
Now, so when the child goes to school, they're gonna be like,
already in them.
Oh, honor my father and mother don't mean I love or like you. It's mean how I think about my parent. That's what honoring means. How I think about him. And if I don't think my dad cares about me, well, I'm gonna steal the candy. He don't care anyway.
Right.
I'm gonna do this because they don't care anyway. Mama, they don't care anyway. If that's in your heart, how you think you're gonna respond to life if you don't think nobody can? But if I honor them, man, I'm gonna steal some candy. You know what my dad gonna do? You know what my mama gonna do? My mama gonna
That's reverence.
Right? We don't have that anymore. Or it's not being demonstrated. It's after the fact. It's after the fact.
See, that's where I know they say where prayer was taken out of the school and everything. We could thank Madeline O'Hara for that. You know what I'm saying? Because she's gone now, like I think she 1960s that she did that. Yeah. Her name was Madeline O'Hara. But when you instill prayer, you know what I'm saying, as an everyday connection between you and God.
Yeah.
All right. This is God doesn't want no big old elaborate prayer.
No.
He just wants to hear you. He just wants to hear you. And then when we show our children that, all right, even though we teach them, hey, how Christ taught us to our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yes, we teach them that, but we'll also let them know that, okay, God is a sovereign God, but he's also a gentleman.
Yes, Lord.
He's also a gentleman. So when we sit here and we just talk to the Father,
yes, Lord,
you talk to him. All right,
like we talking
exactly. Right now.
This is a God right here.
This is a talk right here. This is a talk between brothers. But I'm talking about when you in your closet. When it doesn't mean that closet where you got your clothes and all that other stuff, even though you can't go in there. It's a place between you and God, somewhere intimate. That's what a prayer is. It's an intimacy with God.
Yes, Lord.
Between me and my Father. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk to my Father in heaven. I'm going to, because we all dad, so we can't say Father here. We only got one Father, and that's God.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying? So when I talk to my Father, I'm going to tell my Father something that he already knows. He just wants to hear it.
Right.
He wants to be a part of my life right now. He wants to be able to let me know, my child, I know already. I just want you to tell me what it is that you need for me to do.
Yeah.
See, when we allow heaven to touch earth, all right, because there's laws there.
Right.
All right. There's the spiritual law and then there's the natural law. But when we allow heaven to touch earth,
That's the
where
work.
God wants to touch us.
And that's our obedience to him. Yes, Lord.
Thank you, because obedience is the highest form of worship. Just like the woman,
yes, it is.
Give him his garment, and she knew without a shadow of a doubt that I'm going to be healed. See, when we touch God, all right, we're going to be made whole, because there's something that we're missing. There's some pieces that are missing, but when we touch God, because it's your faith that moves the hand of God.
There it is. There it is.
That sits up there and allows God to do, because it confuses the enemy. So when your worship goes forth, not only your obedience, but when you're doing the will of God.
That part right there.
All right. When you're doing the will of God, all right, in your obedience, that's touching God. All right. That's touching him and letting him know, okay, my child is really in tune with me. My child really is dependent on me right now. My child knows that, hey, I'm going to do what I said that I'm going to do in their life.
Yeah. That kind of conversation.
That kind of conversation right there, God already knows, okay, now that you have touched me, let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
You're speaking to me in private, but I'm about to reward you openly.
Yes, Lord.
The little bit that you asked me for, I'm about to add to that.
Add to that, yeah.
Because that faith that moved the hand of God.
But you know, we don't realize that in our soul, because the soul can't comprehend that because of where it came from.
It can't comprehend. We have to worship him in spirit and in truth.
Yes, that comes from, but also that comes from the foundation. That's the reason why man tills the land. Notice that Adam was by himself with God the whole entire time, and the devil never came to him at all.
No, because
notice he knew.
He was in tune with God.
He was in tune with God.
God gave him a mandate, and he said because he's walking with God, God has given him everything. That's why God gave him dominion over the animals. That's why God allowed him to
because he kept
naming the animals, start naming the fruit, start naming the seeds, start naming the plants. He gave that to man because man was walking with him. But when that sin happened, when they said, "Oh, I'm naked," that means that they were out of the presence of God.
The thing is, they alternated that though, because when in the beginning, when Adam said it, he said that, which he would say, he said he was flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. At the very after that, God said, "So let them be as one flesh, as they shall be naked and not ashamed." The naked and not ashamed that we're talking about is the fact that we're vulnerable with each other. Man and woman was vulnerable with each other, saying they were not ashamed of that. Versus, and I got your text. And the other half of that is when they took the sin. That was the enemy twisting it now. Oh, no, you're naked because you're nude. It's not because you were vulnerable. It's because you're nude. Not feel ashamed. You're supposed to be covered up. You're not supposed to be naked. And that's where it kicked in. The concept that he twisted that.
That's why in the world today, I said this on the show the other day or yesterday. We're using spiritual conversation in the carnal mindset, and they don't line up.
No, they don't. Spirit and flesh don't never coincide. Ever.
You can't have a spiritual context in a carnal mindset. They don't agree. They don't line up, and so we get these kind of conversations in the world that people want to drop this conversation over here.
You will not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Come on, gentlemen, I got to get ready to get out of here. I thank y'all, man. We did 2 hours and 9 minutes in conjunction with the first episode. So I just want to say, Renata, thank you for putting this together. This is such an important dialogue, most near and dear to my heart, because again, as what I had to go through to restore my mind and get back in alignment with Christ and the Word, it's been a journey. It's practice every day. But
can I give you flowers?
Go ahead.
I want to give you some flowers, brother. Jason, you know why I give you your flowers. We've been at this life-changing word in 2023. And the one thing I could tell this man saw me, we sang on the same key in the audience. We wasn't even in the choir together, but we locked in. And that's when we became brothers spiritually. But I wanted to thank him because now I'm a minister in training at Family Center of Love. And I'm studying right now in eschatology and in the process of what it is for salvation. And I'm going through with it because God called me to that vision. He said, I am to be a minister. I'm here to teach. And he did tell me that the music is going to be the calling card But once I have them in, then the knowledge that comes from forth or from what I learned from him will be able to sustain the young people.
Exactly.
But I want to say, if it wasn't for the encouragement, if it wasn't for God talking to me to get me into Life Changing Word in the first place, I would have never met this brother. And look how God puts everything in sync. So I wanted to give you your flowers at Farron. We got to have more conversations. I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Look, I know I'm past my time. I just got to drop these two from me to you, gentlemen, so I could get your perspective on my revelation of the word. Two things. The passage about the prodigal son, right? Why is that such? Why have that passage, that parable, been told in such a negative context?
Because people don't understand. Okay.
Let me say my piece. I'm gonna say my piece, and this is why. Because when I got my revelation of that for myself, man, I was like, I put myself in that, as me as the prodigal son in my life, right? And I left the house at 18 because I wanted my privacy and I wanted my space. So that was me taking my hair. They wearing my clothes and on my phone and in my room, like, I'm out of here. I'd rather go pay my own bill. I'm out of here, right? But when I read that, right? And I read that, and I read that, and I read it, and I read it, and I'm like, Holy Spirit, I got the knowledge, I got the understanding. I'm looking for the comprehension, and I want my revelation, right? So I can apply this passage to my life. That's how I added comprehension and revelation for myself, right? So when I started getting the comprehension, I'm like, okay, I could see that. Then I got the revelation, like, wait a minute. He left, yes, took his inheritance, ended up in the pig pen, eating pig slop. But I was like, man, God still provided for him, even in the midst of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
God still provided for him. Pig slop in a pig pen, protected him, gave him food. We go to all the restaurants and eat pigs potato skins with
right.
We eat the same thing he was eating.
Right.
Today we pay for it. We eat that same stuff. So when I saw that from that perspective, I was like, wait, God, you was still protecting him even in the midst of what people looks as a negative context of what he did. God still provided shelter and food. And then the best part of that passage is when he came to himself. It doesn't say it was 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years. It just said when he came to himself, even he reduced himself. I'm gonna go back home, but as a servant, right? Even as a servant, he was like, I'm gonna go back home, but I'm gonna at least be a servant, because he knew he had did what he did. But his father wasn't in the house, wasn't in the backyard. He was out looking, like he saw him coming. Like, man, come on, God, like that's God waiting for us, right? So my thing is, why has the tradition of the prodigal son? When I first heard it years ago, it was like a negative conversation. Like, oh, that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing when you look at it from what it is to be a person today. For me, does anybody else see it in that context, or is that just me?
It's never a bad story. It's actually a wonderful story. But I'm going to let my lead brother, my bigger brother, take the floor on that one, because he's the minister already ordained. Can you give us? I'll back up with the tidbits.
All right, I'm gonna give you. Just think about this. In the Jewish community during that time, when a young man goes and leaves off and gets his inheritance and goes and blows it or whatnot, when he wants to come back, he has to go through a whole lot of things in order for him to be accepted back. All right. He has to stand in the middle of the street, get spit on, get ridiculed. Done so wrong or whatever, to where once he's endured all of that, then he goes through some more stuff in order to be brought back into the home. But he's brought back in as a hireling. He's not brought back in as a son. He's not brought back in as
that was the process.
Statue.
That was the process.
You have to work your way back up to being my son. Wow. Now look at what Christ did, though. Wow. Look at what Christ did, though. All right, you got to look at this like sin too. All right. We're sitting here and we go and we do everything that we ain't supposed to be doing or nothing like that. And we tell God, we showing God, God gives you so much rope. He gives you so much rope until you hang yourself. All right. But what everybody don't realize is that when you hang yourself, you still have a way back to his heart. You still have a way back to forgiveness. You still have a way back to redemption. And that's through Jesus Christ. And that's what that story was about. He said, I saw him. The Father saw him from afar off, and he ran to him, hugged him, and gave this man a party. This man had a party. That party was the angels rejoicing because you returned back to the Father.
Return back to the Father, man.
You return back to your first love.
Yes. And not only that,
you're back into the family where you belong.
You belong.
Yeah, you walked away, you did your sin, you got with the females, you blew you blew your money and all that other stuff. But when you came to your senses and like, Lord, forgive me, God did not sit up there and say, oh, you got to go through all of this stuff. like they did. You got to look at what they had to go through. In the Old Testament, they had to what? Kill a bull.
Yeah.
Have a sin offering, bring in doves and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Turtle doves at that.
But the thing is the one thing is that on top of that is the fact that when he came home, he was I don't want to say evolved because that's not a proper word. Yeah. But he was improved because the stuff that he went through humbled him.
Right.
And then it showed him himself. He came into himself. He came and started understanding himself because he understood who God made him to be.
Right.
And when he came home, the Father was more rejoiced at that because of the glory. He saw God's glory in that. That's why the party was thrown in celebration.
Yeah.
So we look at that, man. We look at that. There's the revelation.
I'm telling you,
look at the story of the one lost sheep. They
coincide. Yeah, he left. Leave the 99 for that one.
99 for that one.
All right, my last one. This is what I got, Easter. This past Easter triggered it, and I've been speaking at church probably about 4 years. I'm a deacon, and I'm not a minister, but I've been doing my talks, and I do my cousin's Youth Sunday talks, and I just started looking at these traditions, man, and how people say stuff for years, and it just be out of context. It'd be like just right. So I started looking at Thomas, and I was like, man, was Thomas a doubter or did he have unbelief? And when I looked at that passage, for me, again, this is from what I got from it. Everything that I read, it wasn't unbelief. It wasn't doubt. It wasn't doubt. It was even Christ spoke to his unbelief. Even what Thomas said to the disciples when they told him, "Oh, we saw. What? Oh, I ain't gonna believe that till I believe." I thought no, but there is a scripture that says there were doubters around, but nothing said that it was Thomas. And so when I looked at that and I challenged that, because I'm like, there's these traditions, like that's been a story for centuries. I mean, who knows? But here, little old Farron is like, wait a minute, I don't think that was doubting Thomas. I think and so when I saw that from that passage, I was like, you know what, man? Even in the Greek, they got different words for doubt and unbelief, right? In the translation. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Was that doubt or unbelief? So I'm like, no. And for me, Thomas was a witness.
Right.
Thomas was the ultimate witness, so that I could believe. If I believe the word completely, that I could believe that Thomas did what he did. Then guess what that does for me? It increases my view. Exactly. That I can stand on that word from what Thomas did.
You know how blessed you are, though, if you wasn't there, but you yet believed anyway.
Yes, that's what Christ said, right?
You believe anyway. You wasn't standing there. You didn't see the nail scarred hand. You didn't thrust your hand where they pierced your side or whatever, but you believed anyway. You believe anyway, beyond the shadow of a doubt, because your faith is allowing you to believe.
And it's okay to ask questions. That's
it's okay to have questions.
It's not okay to. It's okay to ask questions, but not to interrogate. Right.
Not because I'm doubting, but because I want to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I could look at it as with Thomas, you know what I'm saying? I was a Thomas for a long time. 22 years I walked away from the church because the church hurt me. People ain't talking. Yeah, I was lost away.
I feel you.
There was
a backslidden state. I got the military.
So when I came,
I did my prodigal son mess in the military.
When I came to California, it was funny because it made sense to me once somebody explained it to me. Now I would give credit to McDavid and Daniel McDavid. Devon McDavid is Daniel's father.
Yeah.
And I was saved in a homeless shelter. I wasn't even in church. Okay. And he kept talking to me about the Bible. Now, here's my mindset. I'm Thomas. Okay, if that makes sense, then what is this? Then what is that? Why is this way? And I got esoteric information about this. And we're going back for 2 hours. And then his son, out of all people, just tapped me on the shoulder and told me one thing. He said, the Bible's not religious. I said, prove it. I said, prove it. And then he said, he proved it. That's what made me wake up. He proved it. He went to John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now you have my attention. And the reason why it made sense, because when I got a chance to understand Jesus, well, it is evident that he existed. It is evident that he lived. It is evident that a covenant changed. Why? Because even the timeline explains it in itself. BC, before Christ, and AD, after the death of Christ. When I saw the evidence come into seeing,
that's what that means. And you're dominating me.
That right there was enough for me to say, I believe. Now that I made that choice to believe, now I actually believe. Not because somebody told me to, but because I honestly made that choice in my heart. I was convicted. I understood who Jesus was. At that point in time, that's when the blessings came. And when you see things that you know are unexplainable, then you know automatically. That's where the faith came in.
You got to catch it in the spirit. You got to catch it in the spirit.
Some of the stuff catch it in the spirit.
You can't catch it in your mind. Your mind is not going to comprehend it. Your mind not. Gentlemen, thank y'all for today, bro. Y'all truly blessed me. Jason, man, thank you for your time, man. Appreciate you. I'm gonna have you come back for an episode for the
problem, brother. Hey,
talk, man.
Whatever you need of me,
military talk.
Whatever God needs of me,
sure. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Renata, thank you for hanging out, man.
Thank you, Renata.
Who tuned in.
God bless you, sister. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. But I want to say, man, it's deeper than that, man. And what you opened up was a Pandora's box. So this whole conversation is going to be for hours.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
Years.
I'm not saying Pandora because that's demonic.
Excuse me. Let me take it that way. What I mean is, you opened up a deep rabbit hole. Yes.
Because I know why that stuck out for me with Thomas is because when I came back in church, I was like, you know what? And my Pastor Jewel Jones said, you know that we could be the stumbling block of our weaker brother and sister in Christ, that they could be watching you ready to give their life and you over here doing something, acting a fool in that moment. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
No,
exactly.
But I was called to Downey Thomas. I'm like, I can't ask questions. I got questions. It's not that I'm doubting. I have some questions, but who am I supposed to go to if I can't come to you and for some questions or lead me to somebody to ask questions? So that whole thing, like I said, it's me. But for me, when I got the freedom for myself that Thomas had unbelief, it allowed me to even believe greater because he's my witness. And so if you use him as a doubter, then it diminishes his character to me.
Well, it's also a process. In the beginning, you have to go through that. The belief gets stronger the longer you go in a relationship with God. The more you're stronger your walk, the closer you become. Nothing ever is overnight. This relationship between you and I is not going to be overnight. This is going to be something developed, and that's the whole point. Look forward to what is already set. The seed and the watering is already there. Now the growth has got to happen, but we're not in charge of the growth. Let God do the growth. That's where the whole point when you ask questions, sometimes it gets to a point where we're trying to anticipate the growth when we don't need to. We just need to have faith and let God have the growth.
And on that note, I'm out of here. Jason, Renata,
one gives an increase.
I appreciate y'all so much.
Amen.
This is the Farron Dozier Show on the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Shout out to West account. Catch me on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. KCARadio.com. If you're in an Empire, 106.5 FM, 10:50 a.m. We streaming live over there. More talks like this coming soon. Shout out to West account. Appreciate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.